When did you tell him?
But I'll tell you.
Before dessert?
But I will tell you. Only because you've treated me so good for so long, I have to tell you, right? I was sitting at the table. We had finished dinner. We're now having dessert. And we had the most beautiful piece of chocolate cake that you've ever seen.
President Donald Trump telling Fox Business News' Maria Bartiromo what he was eating when he informed the Chinese president last week that U.S. forces fired Tomahawk missiles at Iraq. He did say Iraq. The president meant Syria, but that was a great chocolate cake. When was the last time a president told us what he ate before launching a murderous attack? Can you remember?
You could say that about just about everything that Donald Trump says as president of the United States. So I think it was very typical for him and fitting with who he is as a person.
What we do know is that it was the most beautiful piece of chocolate cake. So
the best piece of chocolate cake ever. And
I'm thinking it was just good it wasn't white cake.
Okay. All right, let's get to the missiles fired at Arizona's citizen initiative process. The governor has signed one bill making it tougher to get on the ballot. Another is on his way to his desk for signing, and a third just needs Senate approval. We're being told these bills are all about restoring integrity to the initiative process that allows citizens in Arizona to make law. Is that what it's about?
My question is, Bram, why are the Republicans in the legislature afraid to empower our democracy? This is a blatant attack on our democracy, civil liberties, and it's just wrong. The framers got it right. They empowered our constituency and citizens of Arizona to participate at the ballot box, and the Republicans in the legislature are afraid. And you want to know why they're afraid? And I'll tell you. They're afraid because they do not represent the interests of Arizona. Arizonans want safe schools, stronger communities, not an attack on civil liberties, not an attack on the democratic process, and not an attack on education, and that's what they're getting. And they're afraid because if they send them to the ballot box, they're going to see results.
Nathan, you've been involved in a lot of these signature gathering referendum issues. How bad a blow? Crippling a blow.
I think it's a fatal blow. My company has qualified 7 or 8 ballot measures, statewide ballot measures in the state of Arizona. We've qualified measures in many other states. Having a strict compliance standard versus a substantial compliance standard is a really, really big deal.
Explain that language, because most people aren't aware.
And this is what's so disappointing to me about how Republicans have handled the situation, because it's not being done with transparency. It is being done, the initiative process is being killed with 1,000 regulations. And so the difference between a strict compliance standard and a substantial compliance standard is if somebody forgets the date. Judges in the past have always said, well, we know what the voter intended, the date, so we count that signature. If the margin is off, and this is the most ludicrous example to me, but it's accurate, if the margin is off by even just 1/8 of an inch, the entire ballot measure can be thrown out. And so ultimately what Republican legislators have decided is that they are going to make it nearly impossible for a citizen initiative to meet the legal standard that it has to meet in order to do it. And why it's a crippling and a fatal blow is because now the folks who organize, whether it's volunteers, and we've had statewide citizen initiatives within the last decade that have passed with purely volunteer signatures or heavy volunteer signatures, or whether it's financed, either way, those people, before they invest their money and their time for the better part of a year, are going to look at this and say, what are the odds of us succeeding? And when the odds are that low, the cost of entry is going to discourage people from participating in the process.
Lori, so clamping down on citizens' initiatives, expanding school vouchers, neither of these issues poll well with voters. Are Republicans asking for blowback at the polls in 2018?
Oh, I absolutely think so. They have set the agenda. They have set the narrative for the 2018 election, and you're going to have a governor come into the campaign season on the defense rather than on the offense. What I'm interested to see is, are the people who object to what our legislature and governor are doing going to go on the offense, or are they going to stay on defense? Are they going to try to refer some of these measures to block them, or are they going to mount some initiatives of their own?
And Jevin, real quick, how do you see that playing out? Initiatives, or just we're hearing that these groups are just going to attack specific legislators? What do you think is the best way to Democrats think?
Well, I'll tell you, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing record high numbers in our legislative district meetings and our county meetings, and we're seeing a brand new wave of energy that's ready to participate in the process. We're coming for the legislatures, we're coming for the governor, and that's what's going to happen. We're going to see a whole new set of energy involved in the process, and a new wave of boots on the ground ready to turn Arizona blue.
And here's why strategically this is a bad move for
10
Republicans.
seconds, please.
Because this is almost certainly going to be referred. Every Republican that voted for it is going to have to run on the ballot while this is on the ballot with them. And it's probably going to lose on constitutional grounds anyway once it gets to court.
All right. When we come back, will Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema spend the millions of dollars she's raising on a Senate race? Plus, Jeff Flake's town hall. Wow. We have a highlight.